Welcome to Motorsport's Colosseum. This is a place where motor racing's gladiators, equipped with massively powerful, gleamingly beautiful sports cars, come to fight it out for glory. It's race day at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. In front of 250,000 fans in the stands and millions more watching around the world, the drivers and their teams take on one of the most grueling, extraordinary endurance challenges ever devised. Come Sunday afternoon, only the strongest will survive. But this year, a small team from England plans to be among those left standing. They seem to come from nowhere. A small private team with a super-fast car. After a good first season in 2004, Creation Autosport earned an invitation to join the sports car racing elite at this year's Le Mans. But over the winter, team manager Ian Bickerton had to break the news to owner Mike Jankowski that they now had an engineering mountain to climb.
You can imagine a Formula 1 car with bodywork. The technology in this car is the same. So to make it go and do 24 hours, just to finish the race, would be like winning at the moment.
So on top of the £1 million that Mike had already spent buying the car and setting up the team, it was going to cost him $1 million more to make the car robust enough for Le Mans. But after 5 months of struggling to improve their reliability, Creation seemed to have finally turned things around. Through 2 weeks of testing and practice here at Le Mans, they've completed 126 laps, 1,700 kilometres, problem-free. Finally, they look ready for the gladiatorial challenge that begins in just a few hours' time.
It's a big thing, and I'm feeling nervous, but positive.
It's Saturday morning, 8 hours to go. The teams have been working since the early hours, rebuilding their cars, checking and rechecking every component and setting. It can take just one faulty component or one mechanic's mistake to ruin your team's chances in the race.
We've got a new alternator, a new starter motor, new radiators.
Creation are ready for combat with the Goliaths of the sports car racing world. The fastest cars in the field are the two Pescarolos, which top qualifying with 3 seconds a lap to spare. But equally important at Le Mans, the most reliable cars are likely to be the Audi R8s, run by the French Oreca team and the American Champion team.
The car is absolutely fantastic and has a perfect balance. No adjustments, no repairs. The ADD Champion Audi is running perfectly.
For the 50 teams, 150 drivers and hundreds of engineers and mechanics, months of preparations are almost over. And Creation boss Ian Bickerton has worked out his strategy for the race, especially the first few laps.
And I think it's all going to happen in the first couple of laps. We're going to sit back and watch it happen. And then we're just going to plod round, do the good pit stops, just look after the car, look after the tyre.
11 a.m. It's hot and getting hotter. It's going to be one of the hottest races ever here, making the endurance challenge even greater for both cars and drivers. And the hottest place of all will be inside the drivers' cockpits.
For us, it's about 45.
Yeah, so it's pretty hot. There's nothing you can do about it. Drink lots of water and fluid.
Losing 2 kilos by the end of the race.
With 4 hours to go, the build-up festivities begin. Parades, historic racing, anthems, photo opportunities. It's the world's greatest motorsport spectacle. And then finally the cars line up for the start of the race. 15 minutes to go and it's still seriously hot. The teams do everything they can to keep both cars and drivers cool until the last possible moment. Finally, the grid is cleared and 50 powerful racing engines and the massive crowd roar into life. challenge ahead is simple. Keep the car on the track and out of the garage. The car that completes the most laps in the next 24 hours wins a place in history. Welcome to the 73rd running of the world's greatest race. 24 hours of hell. The two Pescarolo cars immediately pull away. Running to the very latest regulations, these cars have a speed advantage of 30 kilometers an hour on the long straight. But their fuel-guzzling V10 engines will bring them back to the pits for fuel first, so they need to build up a lead. And as they catch the GT cars at the back of the field, the carnage begins. Pescarolo's Sohail Ayari is first back to the garage for some quick repairs. He loses a lap, but it's not a huge problem when you've got one of the fastest cars and over 23 hours to go. Back in 6th, Creation's Nick Minassian is driving much more cautiously.
How does everything feel, Nick? Is everything okay? Yes, everything is okay, everything is okay.
No one at Creation is under any illusion about their strategy for this race. It's all about survival. And in each of over 30 scheduled pit stops, Creation's pit crew needs to be faultless. So far, so good. Nick's keeping out of trouble.
Okay, mate, pit this lap, pit this lap.
And after his second 45-minute stint, he hands over to Jamie Campbell-Walter. Like Nick, Jamie knows exactly what's required of him. At the first sign of trouble, he's on the radio.
I can't change gear, I'm stuck in 6th gear, I can't hear you. Okay, mate, try pressing the emergency button. Try the emergency button, push it.
Creation is the first top team to have a technical problem.
I managed to get 4th gear. Okay, mate, I suspect there's a problem with the flipper then. I suspect there's something wrong with the flipper. Flipper ready. Okay, mate, do me a favour. Just press the mega button, see if it blips. Right, water pressure and low oil pressure, and it comes up literally every second. All the lights come on. Let's keep going for now. Let's just fix this problem first.
Fixing the gear change mechanism takes just 4 minutes. But the data engineers seem worried about the water pressure. Problem 1 fixed, but Jamie's straight back on the radio.
I keep getting water pressure. Stan, it must be losing water from somewhere, mate, if it's gone, if the pressure's dropped that much, surely.
As the water pressure drops, temperatures soar. Creation engineer Ian Smith needs to act now to save his engine.
Jamie, pit this lap, please. Pit this lap. Pit this lap. Your water temperature is 120 degrees and your water pressure is dropping. Pit this lap, please. Please confirm. In this lap. To be honest, guys, we've busted some water out somewhere at the front of the engine. The cat could have just blown off, I don't know. Go in now. Okay, mate, okay. There's a leak on the left side somewhere.
After such a good run with the car in the build-up to this race, it seems that Creation's infamous reliability problems are back. The culprit is a failed Jubilee clip.
That's just a clip? Yes. There's no Jubilee clip? Right, okay.
After weeks of preparation, a 50p component has brought this £500,000 racing machine to its knees. But after 32 minutes in the garage, Creation are back on their feet and ready to return to the fight. They've dropped from 6th to 40th. But there's still over 21 hours to go. Mike, Bix and Smithy settle into their command centre, surrounded by TV screens, data and radios. If all goes well, they will spend most of the next 21 hours right here. Two generals with their captain conducting operations. And they know that sooner or later, their rivals will have their share of problems. Pescarolo are the first to oblige. In their race-leading car number 16, Eric Comas can't change gear. It's a recurrence of gearbox problems the team has been having all year. Under race rules, the team isn't allowed to change the gearbox. They must diagnose the problem and fix it. It loses them 13 places.
Jamie, looks like a number 4 Audi in the wall, or Telly's hit something. Number 2 Audi, sorry.
First problem for the champion team as Pirro hits the wall.
Just the car didn't stop and I went slightly straight with the nudge, which makes me feel very, very sorry because we were doing really well.
Pescarolo car number 17 has a puncture, and the Oreca Audi has a suspension failure, costing them 3 laps, leaving Tom Christensen's champion Audi number 3 out in front, thanks to a problem-free run so far. But Creation are making a comeback. Jamie's back up to 30th. But the bad news for Jamie is that Smithy wants him to drive a third consecutive 45-minute stint to save on pit stop time.
In now, in now. Okay, mate, you're staying in the car, okay? Oh, no, I've got pins and needles in my foot. You're down for a triple, mate, that's what you're doing.
The pain's not over yet. That's why they call it endurance, Jamie. Despite his pins and needles, Jamie's flying third stint puts Creation back up to 22nd. But now the team faces a very different challenge. It's time for their third driver, Andy Wallace, to get in the car.
Go, go, go. Okay, mate, the car is good. The car is good.
He's a former winner. It's his 17th Le Mans. But it seems like Andy just can't get comfortable with this car. Throughout testing and practice, Andy has had a stream of complaints and problems. And this evening is no exception.
The seat is broken. The seat is broken, mate. I think it's going to disappear in that way and I'm going to crash. That's what I'm thinking. Look, the whole seat's gone.
Smithy gives Andy some foam padding for extra back support.
Do you know where it's going to go if it breaks? Because I'll just disappear into the footwell, you see.
Bix thinks the problem may be in Andy's mind.
Get him out of the car, will you?
But Mike wants Andy to feel he has the team's full support.
If he gets into his head that you know, he's not getting the adequate support, he'll actually be slower in the car and may make mistakes.
Andy's lap times are slow, but at least he keeps the car on the track, while others fall apart.
Okay, Andy, stick with the seat for the minute, okay? If you think you're going to crash, slow down your lap time, okay? Good, thank you.
Andy sticks with the seat for another 26 laps. And by the end of his third stint, Creation are back up to 15th place.
Car's porpoising really badly now. It only just started, but it started about 5 laps ago. Quite a bad porpoise.
Nick takes over the driving.
Okay, Nick, go, go, go.
And Andy can now report a whole series of problems with the car that have been slowing him down.
Okay, so you go around the corner and it just moves. Second one, the lights are absolutely...
But it turns out he may simply have had a slow puncture.
That one's down to what, 1 bar?
Yeah, it's got a puncture.
Puncher.
Oh, it was a puncture.
That's a porpoising.
It wasn't pleasant at all, but quite often it's not.
With
With Nick back at the wheel, normal service is resumed.
Okay, how are you coping with the seat? There's no problem with the seat, no problem, everything's fine.
There are 15 hours to go, and the battle for survival is heating up. Just before 1 a.m, a crash for Pescarolo number 17. Struck from behind, and the repairs will last 8 laps. Despite being the fastest from the start, a series of problems means that, like Creation, Pescarolo must keep playing catch-up. And a second major suspension failure means that so must Oreca. 2 of the wishbones supporting the front right wheel of the Audi R8 have snapped clean through. They lose 6 laps. Before he gives up the car, at just after 2 a.m, Nick puts Creation back into the top 10.
Well, guys, we're on the front page of the TV again.
We're now P10. We're in the top 10.
But you're getting out, Jamie's getting in. Go, go, go. Go, go, go.
Another slick, fast driver change. Creation are back on top of their game, and it's paying off. The Pescarolo number 16, with Eric Comas at the wheel, is also enjoying a good run. Back up to third behind the champion Audis. Champion number 3 still leads. It's still problem-free from the start. Approaching halfway, 15 cars have now gone to the Lions, and their teams have packed up for home. 35 cars out of 50, including all the top contenders, are still in the race. Collectively, they've done over 60,000 kilometres at an average speed of up to 200 kilometres an hour. Only the die-hard fans are still manning the stands. Even the mechanics are grabbing some sleep when and where they can. But the cars just keep going round and round and round. Just 12 hours to go. Pinch yourselves, Creation. You're still in the race.
Reset the counter, mate, okay?
Just before 6 a.m, Creation complete an amazing recovery from 40th back up to their starting position of 7th. Andy Wallace is back in the car. He and the other Creation drivers have now enjoyed nearly 12 hours problem-free. Just too easy.
Here's this lap, do you read this? Yes, mate, what's the problem? What's the problem? Rear puncher, left rear puncher. Okay, mate, nice and slow, okay? You know the script.
Got water temperature up at 110 as well. Can we look around the car, please, for a leak?
Okay, carriage, we've got to do a radiator, all right?
It's a double dose of pure bad luck. One piece of debris has put a hole in a tyre. Another has put a hole in a radiator. Five laps lost and Creation dropped back down to 12th. This is what Le Mans does. It raises your hopes and then dashes them down. But Bix won't be down for long. It's time for Nick Minassian to start another Creation fightback. Because with crashes like this, there's always hope. But Champion's response to their number 2 car's crash puts Creation's challenge into perspective. Back at the garage, their huge team and the millions of dollars of development that went into this modular car means that major repairs are completed in just 15 minutes. They lose just one place, to the top Pescarolo, which is now closing on the lead at a rate of 6 seconds a lap. At Creation, Nick hands over to Jamie.
That when you're done. Go, 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 go.
But the car won't start.
What's the voltage? Keep trying the button on and off, mate. Keep trying it. In the garage.
It's a 10-minute job to change the starter motor and an opportunity to replace some of the bodywork. It's taken quite a battering, and Smithy decides it's time to use the spares.
Turn the power off. Right.
Jamie stays in the car, trying to remain focused and ready to drive. Back out, Jamie's down to 11th, but eager to get back on it. Too eager. On his first lap out, on cold tyres, he's caught out by gravel on the track. A second blow in quick succession. Just how much more punishment can this small team take?
Of the damage and what's going to need replacing. Mate, you've got your left-hand front fender missing, and you hit on the right-hand side. Is that correct? So it's the right-hand wheel that's not turning. What do you think? Do you think you've bent the suspension and the splitter?
The whole team's been up for 26 hours since early Saturday morning.
You just go and say, well, you know what more? Well, we had it.
We're just going to do it at the front corner here.
Now they face a major rebuild. Body, suspension brakes. And they'd just put their spares on the car, so now the battered old parts have to go back. Some components even have to be machined on the spot.
Need a left top wishbone.
One gel.
In about half an hour.
An hour and 10 minutes later, Jamie finally drives back out in 20th place. The car may look almost good as new, but it's certainly not. Winning is out of the question now. With the car lashed together, Creation have a real fight on their hands just to finish the race. With 5 hours to go, 20 cars have so far retired. And after yet another crash, Pescarolo number 17 is next to concede defeat. Pescarolo decide to focus their efforts on their other car. Still in second place and still lapping 4 seconds a lap faster than champion Audi in first place. Just 1 lap behind, there's still time to catch up and take the win. It's Pescarolo's speed versus champion's reliability to the end. Meanwhile, Creation continue their journey through hell. This time, it's a puncture.
This car's trying to kill me. It's nearly succeeded.
Jamie, can you slow down a bit, please, mate? Can you slow down a bit? The tyre is about to flail off the rim and fuck up all the bodywork. Just slow down a bit.
Yet again, Jamie Campbell-Walter must nurse the car home.
Have a good look round in there, yeah?
Just the sharps don't like that, I guess.
I think we got away with it, mate. We just got to bolt a little bit of rear bodywork together. It won't take long.
It's now a physical, mental and emotional trial to find the will to simply carry on.
How are we getting on? We're catching them up? Yeah. Just keep going, just keep plodding on, we'll be all right.
The countdown to the finish has begun. Pescarolo keep pushing, but champion's number 3 car holds strong. They've gone 23.5 hours without a single problem. Henri Pescarolo knows when he's beaten. And Le Mans 2005 is again going to be won by reliability over speed. And with just 4 laps to go, it finally looks like Creation's trial is over.
I felt a bit down earlier. We're going to cross the finish line, albeit, not where we want to be, but, it's our first experience in Le Mans. And you're up against the best.
Jamie, you've got about 10 minutes to go, mate. 10 minutes to go.
I think we've done awfully well for our first time. We came very close to a good result. These races are heartbreakers.
After months of preparation, practice, heartache and sleepless nights, they're here at the finish. True gladiators who have risen to the challenge of Le Mans and survived.
Well done, mate. Well done. Thanks very much.
They've engineered a car capable of racing for 24 hours. For them, 14th place at the finish is a triumph. They've tamed Le Mans, and next year, there's no limit to what they can achieve.